welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. Today we have an insanely special video, an exclusive I would say, an AutoFly exclusive. So today we have Allan with us and we are going to talk about this beautiful Beetle. This is a Type 1 Beetle and everyone knows the Beetle, everyone knows this car. It's one of the most sold cars in the world, 23 million units sold since the 1930s. And this particular car has been restored by Allan. So we are going to run through what has been done and what actually goes into restoring such a car. So let's get to it. So first of all, Allan, thank you so much for being here. Today, we would just like to talk about this beautiful car here. So which year is this car from?
First of all, it's my absolute pleasure to be here with you guys. This beautiful Beetle is a 1966 Beetle.
Wow.
And everyone knows my love for Volkswagens and Beetles, so it was an absolute pleasure to restore this car for a very close friend of mine called Amol. And he gave me this project and he said, Allan, will you take it up? And it's very rare that I take up sometimes cars that are not Mr. Going cars. But since this was an interesting project and he had something in mind, I was like, why not? And the outcome's in front of your eyes. And this is not a very recent restoration. It's about 2.5 to 3 years old. But all due credit to the owner, he's maintained it as well as I've given him the car. That apart, this car to begin with was quite a bad example of a Beetle. It was an original owner. So if you notice, this car has the old number CH2057, and that was actually one of the reasons that I did decide I'll restore this car, because it has a lot of history to the number.
Wow.
And we did retain the number and have updated everything. So this Beetle, when it came to me, was not a good example of what a car should be. It was completely rusted, engine was in parts, there were not much fittings on the car. So it was a perfect project for me. And we said, why do a normal Beetle? And Amol gave me the idea of, Allan, before your chrome, your copper looks brilliant. Let's try and maintain that copper. Why copper? He just liked how copper looked. And unfortunately, in our country, copper tarnishes. Copper tends to get black. But we came up with a secret formula that kind of retains copper as much as we can. And it's about 3.5 years now and she's still shining. So whatever we did is working well.
I must say it complements the color of the car. This whole look, it completes the entire look.
So the first copper was decided, and then we decided let's go with a color that, you know, would look nice with copper.
Nice.
And we've done a similar color. I've done India's oldest Beetle, the split window, which is, I mean, it looks similar in pictures, but they're far apart. So we went with that idea, did a few samples, did many samples, and then we came up with this beautiful color.
Is this a factory color?
This is a factory color. This is a factory color for a 56 as well. So among the colors we chose which goes well with the copper. That apart, restoring a Beetle per se is not very difficult. If you have someone who can do the mechanicals well, parts are pretty easy to find. You can get them off the shelf. So we got new parts because that's what we wanted. We wanted new parts. And then they were brand new chrome parts and we removed all the chrome out and we spent as much as the parts in getting everything back to the copper finish that we wanted. That apart, we've got the most beautiful interiors I've seen on a Beetle on this particular car. The engine bay, the boot, I mean, they're the opposite sides on a Beetle. They are spanking clean. And the last thing that we did on this car was we've got offset huge wheels, staggered wheels on the rear. And I think finally the last thing we did just last month was we've got rid of the original 6-volt system and we've moved the car to 12-volt, only to make it more drivable. I was against it for the longest time, but 6-volt batteries are not the easiest to come across in India and charging there. So we've done 12-volt, the whole system's changed to 12 and now she's a daily runner.
Cool. So maybe now we can look inside the car. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. So let's open the bonnet. The best way to show everyone is the attention to detail. So I think we should take a closer look and open this. Yeah.
Absolutely. So we love attention to detail. So if you notice, the engine compartment is spanking clean. Someone can eat off it. Definitely. And this was always in my head to do for one Beetle. So I've done it for another one, but that's an old Beetle. For a 66, you'll never see a wiring as clean as this. The fuel tank is as good as the outside in terms of finish. We've removed the spare wheel now so that you can get a closer look. And this is how it would be from the factory. Probably mine's a little cleaner. But that's it. So you see everything on the front end, if it's the detailing in the headlights to them being as spanking new and original as they would have been.
Yeah, and also don't miss the Volkswagen logo. So if you close this Volkswagen logo. It's so clean. It's so clean.
It's good. And this is an aluminium. So this again is very difficult to copper plate. But again, we took up to the challenge, and I think she just completes the entire look.
Amazing. I think now we should move to the back of the car, because
so let's see the engine compartment.
So now that we are at the back of the car, again, insane attention to detail. I mean, from everything to this 1300, the exhaust tips, the entire rear bumper, beautiful, and even this rim outside around the taillights, beautiful, beautiful. So tell us a little about this.
So as always, our game was to do a complete chrome delete. Because things like even the trim around the rear glass and all is very, very difficult to difficult to copper, I'm sorry. And we get these in chrome, dechrome, copper, put it back onto.
Of course,
the exhaust tips. The exhaust tips again were called for brand new ones and then done the whole copper, because I never wanted the old ones, they would mess up my tank. Again, my favorite part on the car has always been the number plate. And let me just show you the engine compartment as well. So, I mean, that's pretty much as clean as they get. So, I mean, we've fitted the 12-volt alternator now. So, that's the only change from original. And, I mean, with it comes a lot of things like the coil and all, the coil that you change.
And again, the stickers and everything are like the original stickers.
Yeah, so they would be original in German. And, I mean, I wanted it to be the best Beetle in India. And she certainly is.
Yes.
I mean, I'm saying there's another Beetle better, but I've only done that. But apart from that, so this is the second best Beetle in India. And it's a lovely car to drive apart from everything.
The engine is also rebuilt, right? Completely.
Yeah, so the engine's rebuilt. It was rebuilt by Amol's friend in Pune. He did a fab job. And then we finally tuned it over here and put it back in.
And it's all stock.
It's absolutely all stock that would have been, except for the 12-volt conversion now. And I mean, it's Beetle, it's an air-cooled, it has a beautiful sound to it. It's an absolute joy to drive. So the only thing that's, I mean, I wouldn't say not original, but I went and over-restored in this car was the backplate in the engine compartment. It's in buffed aluminium and it reflects light. So what happens is when you look at the engine compartment, it looks brighter. You can see every single detail, including the back of this fan shroud, and that what you'll see is painted as well as the front is. So that's where the attention to detail comes, where things that you can't even see are restored to concourse conditions.
Definitely.
And that apart, yeah, this is the car for you.
Wow. So I think now I think the last segment left is the inside.
Yeah. So coming to the interiors as well, if you can see the dashboard, again, we've maintained as original, no extra switches. I'll show you some rare stuff here. Number one is this windshield washer with the spray. That's very rare. And what I've retained from the original car is this switch. This switch you do not get for the love of money. This is the hazard switch. So we've retained this. That's how the hazard switch with the beautiful light in it. And this is an original piece that was on the car. Most of the other switches we have ordered brand new and put them on. And obviously the steering wheel, the horn button. The nicest part on the seat is the upholstery. It's got the original basket weave pattern that the Beetle of the 66 would have. And apart from that, I think the only extra accessories is this basket here. But this is because our plan is always to go on long drives, so you need something to hold your water and your soft drinks. That apart, yeah, this is the car.
So that's about it, guys. Thank you so much for joining us, and special thanks to you, Allan, for showing us around this beautiful car. Beautiful car, amazing job, and the attention to detail. I know I'm repeating this, but guys, you got to see this. It's amazing. So thank you so much. Of course, if you do enjoy our content, like this video, and of course, subscribe to our channel. See you in the next one.